Hello, hello, hello. I hope I find everyone very, very well this month per usual. I would like to first give a big, huge shout out to all of the Sagittarians and Capricornians out there during this time for you guys' birthdays. Happy, happy birthday. I would like to also thank the individual who donated through the Amazon wishlist link located in the description box. The Sacred Earth's Oracle that we're using this month, they asked to keep their identity private. Thank you to you know who you are. So this month, guys, we're using the Sacred Earth Oracle here by Toni Carmine and Leela Williams. And we are also using the Linestrider Tarot here. And this is by Siolo, Thompson. Okay, let's go ahead and say a prayer for the decks and we'll get started here. Father God, I open all channels of light, Lord. North, south, east, and west. Guardian angels of the four directions, high councils, who serve the law of one. Holy pure ones, please anchor this space now in your divine consecration to provide every single zodiac sign with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, Father. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they're meant and or intended to be this month. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus the Bull. Here's your reading for December 2018. Let's go ahead and hop right into your reading here, Taurus. In terms of traditional tarot, what we have here, Taurus, is the Queen of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the Chariot reversed, the Eight of Cups, the Magician, and the Nine of Wands reversed. Now, I have not seen the Oracle card here. We're going to flip it over at the end and see what else it adds to your reading for you this month. What I can see so far, Taurus, is maybe some of you could possibly be dealing with a Cancer, possibly, maybe an Aries. Also maybe a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. All right, Taurus. This month, Taurus, there's something of like an ego blow. That's what I'm kind of getting here for you, Taurus, this month. But a lot of how you feel this month, Taurus, is going to be very perception-based. Now, there's healthy ego, Taurus, and then there's, unhealthy ego. And I'm feeling, Taurus, like this month you may come to terms with learning to discern between the two. Now, when we have, and we all should have, healthy ego gets us the job. Healthy ego helps us feed our children. Healthy ego helps us really pursue and obtain certain ventures that we feel will better our life. Healthy ego is good competition. Healthy ego is, we need healthy ego. It helps us establish our drive and to stand within our own truth and volition, But when there is an imbalance, Taurus, between like unhealthy ego and healthy ego, that's where things can get a little bit hairy, or things can get a little bit tricky, Taurus. Because when unhealthy ego starts to present itself, we must look at that energy, and we must look at that situation that brings us to that point. Now, unhealthy ego, Taurus, includes an ego blow, anger, hostility, judgment, those lower types of vibrations. Feeling the need to always be in control. Not willing or not wanting, to take your end of the responsibility of whatever the situation may be for you this month out. I'm just simply outlining healthy and unhealthy ego here. But my main point here, Taurus, is that when unhealthy ego presents itself and when it continues to sit at the fore of our mind and we can't, or we have trouble discerning between healthy and unhealthy, right? A situation arises as to what I'm seeing here for you. Something has transpired for you, Taurus, that really, like I said at the beginning, it's an ego blow for you. It's almost like Taurus, like you feel like you've given up, or you, okay, interesting. You feel like your efforts were not acknowledged. You feel like your efforts were not good enough for the situation, person, place, or thing, whatever it may be for you today. I'm also picking up here too, Taurus. You also possibly feel unappreciated. But it's interesting, Taurus, all of those words that are synonyms that are coming through for you here, they all have a little bit of regard for external validation. And we discussed this before, Taurus, when you seek external validation and when you put so much emphasis and value within external validation, you immediately lose, Taurus, you know? And it's tough to be very, or to become, or to work on, or to maintain, you know, self-preservation. Now, when I mention self-preservation, meaning like it's tough to be very confident within ourselves and to know that when we've given our best, Taurus, and when we've done our best, and whether the situation, person, place, or thing is not accepting of that, or it chooses to not meet you halfway, or chooses to, or things just happen to go left, you can't be too upset at that, Taurus, especially upset at yourself. Like, revert that energy back to you in terms of like you feeling like you weren't good enough, you feeling like something's wrong with you, feeling like something is not right with you. It has nothing to do with that, Taurus. As long as you've given your all, you've given your best, that's good. And that's good enough, Taurus. And I'm feeling like this month, you may feel like you've hit rock bottom. You may feel like you can't move forward. But what's really interesting here, Taurus, is that, you know, you're one of the signs, Taurus, you know, which is positive, of course, that always moves forward and that always pushes their way through situations. And it's usually very favorable, and things tend to work out like that. But I'm feeling, Taurus, like whatever the situation that has transpired for you, it's a little bit different this time. Things went, or things panned out or transpired a little bit differently. But it doesn't discredit your honesty and your integrity that you gave to the situation. And what's really interesting here, Taurus, is that you may feel, like I said, like you hit rock bottom, things like you can't move forward. But yet, Taurus, you still have the Queen of Wands here. Like, you still have that drive within you to see the situation through, which is wonderful. So I can see that you do have fight left in you. You know, Taurus, you always have fight left within you. You're one of the strongest signs, you know. But there's like an element here of, like I said, perception, but it's more of like accepting the need, or accepting having to sometimes leave situations, Taurus, and leaving situations and having no qualms with them or towards it. And in the process, Taurus, of you leaving the situation, you feeling the need to walk away, that's your own truth. And we always want to, you know, leave a situation, let me rephrase that. We always want to attempt to leave a situation better than we found it, but, you know, we don't want to compromise ourselves throughout the process of that, nor ask anyone or put anyone in a position, or anything in a position, to compromise itself or their self as well. It can get a little tricky, you know, Taurus, but as long as you know you've given your all, that's good enough, and that's okay. And through this process, you, I feel, Taurus, like you're, interesting, you're going to find yourself, Taurus, walking through the door of value and through the door of self-respect. It may not seem like that right now, and it may just be kind of dark and gloomy for you right now, and that's okay, Taurus. Feel that energy, but let's not dwell within that energy, you know? We always want to acknowledge the feeling and validate it, of course, regarding ourselves. But whenever you leave a situation, Taurus, or a situation is taken from your life, or people are taken away from your life, whatever the case may be, Taurus, even though it feels unfavorable, it may just be spiritually necessary. Now, we all have different situations. Absolutely, there are the exceptions. But normally, Taurus, when people are taken from our lives, or situations are taken away, it's because it's like a pivotal point within our life regarding us preparing, or the universe, God, preparing us for some much needed spiritual work that needs to be done regarding clearing some old paradigms, clearing fears, clearing things within our soul or within certain timelines, and clearing those things. And whenever this happens to us, we must do it in solitude. Because, Taurus, when these things, person, places, or things are removed from your life, you are then given that opportunity, like I said, to transmute that energy and then to work on whatever you need to clear, right? Spiritually. And when other individuals, other situations are no longer there that were once there, that maybe became a dependency, when they're gone, or it's gone, it's really just us, right? Or ourselves in solitude. It's because then we are forced, or we are then, I'm going to use the word forced because that's what's coming through here. We are forced, Taurus, to work on ourselves, and only on ourselves. Because other situations, people, places, things, when they're around, they can be a major distraction. Now, when I say distraction, meaning your focus may be on other individuals, person, places, or things, you know? But when they're gone, it's just you. Then you are then placed in a position to really look within and to do it for yourself. Because all types of spiritual work and growth and ascension needs to be done in solitude. Now, we always want, and it's always nice to have a support system, absolutely. But I feel, Taurus, like in me saying all of that, you're walking away, or things are leaving your life right now because you are now ready to move forward spiritually, in whatever context that may be for you. But it's going to feel like you may have hit rock bottom. It's going to feel for that intermittent amount of time that things are not moving forward. But they are moving forward, but it's a perception. And you have all the tools necessary right now to spiritually grow. Because sometimes, Taurus, if we have dependencies around, if we have things as to which we relied on, you know, that would not aid in our spiritual growth, it will be removed, because we can't run away from our spiritual path and from our spiritual duty here on, you know, honor in this 3D dimension, you know, this third density here. Just don't feel like you've given up, because you haven't given up, Taurus. Old situations that no longer serve you have now been removed. So therefore, it's like the prerequisite work has been done for you. But like I said, you have all the tools necessary to move forward. You are at the beginning stages, Taurus, of manifesting something beautiful upon your own time and upon your own volition and upon your own and at your own pace, with no distractions around. Emotions are going to be a big one for you during this time, Taurus. Perception based a lot. That's really what I'm getting here. Because even when we've fallen flat on our ass, you know, we could still look up and see where the top resides. So in me saying everything that we just discussed, Taurus, that's where I'm saying I feel like the ego blow may come up, or it may be like a secondary emotion for you during this time, when the primary or the first emotion is sadness that needs to be removed and needs to be worked through without any distraction. Interesting, Taurus. Let's see what the oracle card is. Okay, interesting. Revision here. Okay, let's go ahead and read from the book and see what other information is here for you. All right, Taurus, so revision here. Your body remembers the trauma, the closeness, the love, the fear, and the exuberance of your full history, even when your mind doesn't. Bring a memory to the surface to align your current self with the knowledge stored in your body. Go deeper into a challenge. Go deeper into a challenge to go beyond it. A study of the past will help you recognize and break a limiting cycle. The memory of creation is stored within the ground you walk on. Still your mind, relax, close your eyes, and feel the timeless healing energy of our Mother Earth. There is one love, one breath, and one dream flowing and evolving through you and this beautiful planet here. Touch her, think of her, feel her all around you, and know she is inside your heart. All right, Taurus. Yeah, it's a revision of things. It's a time to. Interesting. What just came through, Taurus, is it's now a time to no longer fall into victimhood mode or victim mode. You know, when I say that, it's more of like, why are these things happening to me? Why are these things happening to me? Because, Taurus, we have to look at situations with a certain perception. Now, these perceptions or this perception can differ in many ways. You know, we can look at it in terms of like with positive input, you know, where we think of the positivity or the advantage of the situation. We can look at it with negative input, where we look at the disadvantage, and we can look at it with a neutral input. And neutral, when we look at things from a neutral input, it's not being limited or being influenced too much by the negative and the positive input, where there's a healthy balance. And then, Taurus, that's when wisdom and knowledge is gained, because then we understand what is happening. But when we fall into victim mode and we get like frantic and we start to panic, that's when we must take a step back and really look at the situation and say, okay, what's going on here? And trust the process. Change is not easy, and it's not one of your favorite things, Taurus. But change is necessary for growth of all types. And change is also necessary, and being okay or developing, being comfortable within change or within volatile situations. And when I say volatile, meaning very changeable, being okay within that type of vibration is what's really needed. One of the aspects that need to be spiritually assessed and learned here, you know? And any kind of change is a little difficult, but it's always necessary, especially if the universe, God, your higher self presents you with that opportunity to grow. You must take advantage of it and try and be optimistic and try and look at things from a neutral input or from a neutral standpoint throughout the process of it, so that then we can really understand what the spiritual lesson is here. Because when we gain that understanding, well, we may not completely understand it, but as time goes on, when we start to see the blessing that comes from change, we add more to our initial standpoint of understanding, right? Which then means that keeps us calm and motivated throughout the change, or at the changeable situation. And then at the end, it's always like, oh, that's why. All right, Taurus, that's what I'm getting for you for December 2018. Let me know if this reading resonates with you, Taurus, in the comments below. Also tap the like or thumbs up button if this reading does resonate with you. Also check the description box regarding booking yourself a reading if you like to, if you feel inclined to. And also check the description box below as well for the Amazon wish list link that I put together for you guys, Taurus, where you can obtain a great reading for a really great price. All right, Taurus, you got this. It's revision time, becoming desensitized to uncomfortable and changeable situations that life presents to you. All right, Taurus, we'll see you.